This is the Mike Love mixtape. Turn the volume up on your factory ass system. Turn it up now. Listen, nigga.
Yeah, revenge. Now what we gonna do right now? Is gonna try a little experiment. It's a little experiment. You know what I'm saying? A little science project. You know what I'm saying? I like to call it Frankenstein. You, yes, let the words woo you till you woozy. Let the lyrics subdue you, massage and soothe you, move you till consciousness lose you. Do not rouge you, do what you do and you do beautiful. Switch.
Before niggas, we were negoose. Give thanks, family. Give thanks. Ashe. That's good? Peace.
Purpose of this block party, besides having a little bit of fun, a little bit of entertainment, is we're supporting commerce and we're supporting local businesses and from people we know. So even if you get a bag of chips, some water, go get some rings or a necklace, not for you or for someone you care about, all of it helps. Invite some friends out because we're going to be here all night. We have some performances happening later this evening, and then we have both DJ Select to C in the building. Make some noise for DJ Select to C and DJ Kane holding it down on the ones and twos. Alright, but coming up next to the stage now that they're ready.
My name is Akila Kaumba Booley Kelly, and I'm about to lay down some lines for y'all. Look at my hands, look at the trees. The power in thee is the power in me. I'm training and searching for what I must be. The future's unknown, but the clues are there. Reading my books and I'm growing my hair. Connected with earth, call me the shaman. Burning my herbs, I'm seeking alignment. Awaken the dead, asleep in the mind. The white in your eyes is the blue in the sky, and you are the sun. Stay elevating, no need to run. Cultivate, for the time will come. Have no fear, we've all been waiting for this one. A change will come, a change must come. Make sure you're ready when it starts to rain. All the illusions will begin to fade. Open your eyes and strengthen your brain. This is the time when we break all the chains. Wolves have been stalking, tactically preaching, deceiving and possessing my body while they're feasting. The world stay fasting, the heart is festering, a cyst is growing and they want you to pray. Just stay put while they continue to enslave. See Mama Africa, look at her decay, but you free. Living in another man's country, no interest in establishing unity. Think you're gonna have fruits, never planted seeds? Use your critical thinking, said your mind is a seed. Each human being was born in harmony. Just like the bees, flowers all they need. But mess with my queen, and you gonna get sting.
Woo! Tight, bet. All right. My great-grandmother mourned with the decaying of hands, the pain of dead men and women tucked in the folds of her knuckles, grease, oil, blood, bone, ash. Mama Wella got graveyards beneath her fingernails, braid the soil of it into my scalp. When I ask her about my great-grandfather, she tells me that before World War II, his laugh cackled like embers. He was a man molded from flame. But war sucks the air from the bellies of soldiers trying to drown out screams. With Hail Mary's battle, be white boys' arson, and that war carried every shade of red, carried the stench of burning flesh, clouds of cremation and shrapnel in the sky, like God was trying to spread the ashes of the dead on every inch of soil they requested. The war laid him to rest in its mud, and my great-grandfather was given trigger fingers taught to fire each time a Nazi called him nigger. The war made him target and weapon, had him wear his black like a blanket of tar, so his body would melt the steel and their bullets, but still smother his bones until their throats were empty of slurs, their bodies limp and useless like the fallen shells of an empty gun with its iron still smoking. And when he came back, they still called him nigger. For black soldiers, there is no such thing as post-traumatic stress. A Negro's war don't end until his cadaver is wrapped in the roots of the family poplar tree, until our blood is run from the flag and they hang our bodies at half-mast. Thank you. All right.
So I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna go read poems with my friends. So that's what I decided to do. Alright, this is, I'm just gonna read the poem. Okay. Drivers let you on without fare. The ride east on Colfax is a long, sheltered one, and each stop is a few blocks down from a halfway house or Denver staffing office. On most days, the 15 Limited is an installation of Rasquachismo art. Says if you can make it happen, make it beautiful. Thanks you for your resourcefulness. When the homie off Colfax and Downing steps on the bus just to say hello, the bus says goodnight back. Prays it will see you tomorrow. The 15L doesn't yield to the cost of living, runs over displacement, reminds you that Colorado is a dry place. Home here isn't getting the keys to a newly renovated house on Cap Hill. Home here isn't that easy to make. Break your knuckles on this stolen land until it gives and welcomes you back. The passengers on the bus know this better than anyone. It is no surprise most of them are Black, Native, Latinx, and homeless. On January 20th, the 15 Limited looked more like a post-grad's first gallery show. Redundant and lacking all originality. On the Saturday of the Women's March in protest of Trump's first year in office, each seat was occupied by rosy cheeks and even rosier pussy hats. Hashtag Me Too picket signs at their feet. White grandmothers and grandbabies in matching women's rights are humans' rights t-shirts. What a luxury for your women to be a liberated ones. The ones whose protest is an all-inclusive family affair, whose starter kit is comfortable walking shoes, Patagonia vests, and a year-old memory that 53% of white grandmothers, mothers, and sisters, and gal pals who voted for Trump. Saturday's passengers were probably white 30-somethings, probably moved here to start a family, turned the homely's resin and whiskey-drenched cradle into a city-funded chariot to their picturesque protest. Never mind walking alongside the city's most oppressed every other day of the year. To the passengers on the 15L, solidarity isn't a radical act, but one you can schedule. A Facebook event you can be interested in without having to show up. Get a slogan t-shirt. Make a sign that reads, "This episode of Black Mirror sucks." Denver's displaced people don't get to decide to continue watching. Going back to browse isn't an option. Colorado's queer, homeless, trans women of color don't pick the day of their week their feet ache. Colorado's homeless population has rose 16% since 2016. Westward would much rather tell you about its decline in the Denver metropolitan, and Hancock would much rather tell you about his 2011 redevelopment initiative and his new city, the computer-generated one, the one whose homeless people are still walking the same route as the protests, whose 15L is still running, a hub for the cyclically displaced, a prickly welcome mat to the city's newcomers, white women eager for a friendly face. She'll find one on the bus, a Rocky Mountain missing teeth, and honest.
Yo, give it up for April Yvonne. Round of applause. Yeah.
A product of both, children of the same fate that can't see each other, both claiming we were here first. My great-grandmother's crimson tears roll down Los Andes, and white men cowl above them. Tia will call this strength, call it sangre sagrado, say that mestizo was our people's salvation. Our white blood is how we found God.
We are both known by the same name.
Underserved,
Free and reduced lunch,
gang member,
immigrants,
we both know the same history,
village,
connection to God, death by dollar and ambition. Tia will speak of my hair next. Culpa de su padre, she will say, fault of your father's and your mother's father too. I will nod in silence, the coils will tell the story.
How we celebrate Veterans Day and still go to the powwow. Why can't we make sense about what happens to the people the police don't see as passing?
Black people yelling, you're taking all of our jobs. Brown folks say, why can't you work harder?
Competing for the same resources even though it's measured by who can assimilate the best. I guess whoever has the looser curl pattern has the edge.
In labor and in love, my family buries me beneath their tongues to see what the beginning of a bloodline feels like. To see if it's dirt, if I ain't unlike the ground, the bottom of our grandmother's feet. At dinner, they will interrogate me on the American diet. Ask, how do cattle graze in the line of fire? Is your body organic if it's still owned? Call me oveja,
alpaca,
llama, spoiled mule, abyss of language and stigma.
I cannot balance these things that come into the black of the night.
The only answers I find is your blood. It's just like the decisions we make. You cannot change the mix of you. Duality can become singular. My hair raises to both boom bap and bachata. I got pyramids on both sides. I'm a warrior, and it don't matter the color of my beret or flag. The blood that nourishes the neighborhood is a family big enough to connect over their disdain of being brown in a lily white town. Maybe they can pull the American dream out of each other. Rewrite the census report before you lose everything you built. Just to acknowledge that you're here, that we've been here. How can you not look at me and see each other? How can you not look at me and not see yourself? We can work together. We built America from the bones up, hand in hand, even with those who think there are only a few good morenos. Thank you.
Murder nigga, step on my shoes, I hurt a nigga. Kill a nigga, fill a nigga with hoes. Call women hoes, hold up niggas, hold up hoes. Break the calm, detonate bombs. Blow up niggas, blow up hoes. Turn around, smack they mom, switch.